Welcome to the Wife Stories YouTube channel. New video every day, and don't forget to subscribe. Here we go.
You'll forgive me anyway. That was her voice, only a whisper in my head, tangled with the echo of that moment. But the kiss I'm staring at right now, this kiss is not mine. She's leaning into him, fingers curled around his collar, pulling him closer, her lips parted in a way that used to be just for me. I see her eyes flutter shut. My pulse explodes. I can't blink. I can't think. I only feel this sudden rush of blood in my ears, and every muscle in my body turns rigid. I watch through the narrow gap in the basement door. It smells of old paint and stale air down here. I was hunting for a flashlight, rummaging through dusty boxes and broken chairs. I wasn't prepared for this. The swirl of voices upstairs, the hush that fell when the front door creaked, and then her laughter, soft, intimate, a sound she used to make when I'd surprise her at the kitchen counter. But now she's laughing for him. She doesn't know I'm here. I guess she thought I'd gone out, or maybe she just didn't care anymore. My flashlight is useless in my hand. I can't move. I breathe shallowly, careful not to give myself away. They shift positions, pressing closer as if they can't get enough. I hear wet sounds I wish I hadn't. It's suffocating to witness it, like someone poured ice water down my back, and I'm stuck in place. My mind splinters into brief, panicked thoughts. She's kissing him. My wife, kissing my brother. He's always been the charmer, the good-looking one. Michael, the success story of the family. Taller, stronger, with that confident smile. But I never thought I'd see his hands on Anna's waist. I never imagined her responding like she belongs there, like she's found a new anchor in his embrace. 1,000 questions burst in me, shards of confusion and betrayal cutting up my chest. But the roaring in my head drowns out any coherent sense. I should crash in, rip them apart, scream at them both. I should do something. Instead, I remain frozen, swallowing air in these jagged, frantic gulfs. She breaks the kiss, breathless, eyes shining. He murmurs something I can't catch. Her lips form a half-smile. That secret kind of smile a woman gives a man she's already let into her heart and her bed. I recognize it because she once gave it to me. It's like they're in a cocoon of their own desire, oblivious to the ruin around them. I feel the wetness in my palm, realize I'm gripping the flashlight so tight that my nails bite into the plastic. My lungs ache. I lean back silently, letting the dusty wooden door close by the tiniest fraction, cutting off the image of them together. Now I can't see them, but I hear them. I hear her quiet moan. I hear his low, reassuring voice. It triggers an avalanche of bitterness, so powerful I nearly retch. My wife. My brother. This is real. It's not a nightmare. It's not a sick joke. It's my life, undone in a matter of seconds. I wait, pinned by my own shock, until they leave. Her footsteps recede first, delicate little taps. His are heavier, echoing right behind. The front door opens and closes with a soft click. Then silence. It must be minutes before I trust my legs to move. Even then, I'm unsteady. I trip over a box, let out a strangled sound that's half curse, half sob. For an instant, the thought of confronting her rips through me. My fists are trembling, my skin hot with anger. But I don't follow. I just slump against the basement wall, press a hand to my chest, and close my eyes. This is how my life splits into before and after. Before, I believed Anna and I were unbreakable. After, I realize I was living a comforting lie. I don't know how much time passes, but eventually I push myself up, open a random drawer, and fish out the battered old Panasonic camera. I was looking for a flashlight. Instead, I find the beginning of the end. I don't even notice at first that there's an unlabeled VHS tape inside. My fingers are shaking so badly I almost drop it. Maybe it's fate or some twisted joke of the universe that I discover this tape now, after witnessing that kiss. Upstairs, the living room lamp flickers. The house feels deserted, hollow, like it already cast me out. Numbly, I slide the tape into the VHS player, an outdated relic, but still functional. The screen crackles. At first, I only hear disjointed audio, like someone hasn't pressed record properly. Then the picture jumps to life. Her voice. Soft, younger, more carefree. I see her face, bright with laughter. She's maybe 10 years younger, hair a bit shorter, wearing a loose t-shirt that's hiked up slightly. Her eyes flick to the camera with unmistakable affection. My mind scrambles. I was the one behind the camera back then, right? We recorded something once, just messing around in our first apartment. But no, this setting is different. The wallpaper's not ours. The furniture is strange. It's definitely Anna, though. She's biting her lip, a playful glint in her eyes. "Don't record me like this," she says, half laughing. His voice murmurs back. It's a familiar timbre, but not mine. My throat locks. He's behind the camera. She's flirting with him, tugging him closer. I see his hand on her waist. She arches her back, exposing smooth skin. It's intimate. Too intimate. She moans softly when he touches her. And the worst part, he's telling her things only I should know. Private jokes, personal details, subtle references to nights and fantasies. She's giggling, responding like it's perfectly natural. On the screen, the camera shakes wildly. I glimpse a reflection in a mirror behind them. It's my brother's face. Younger, full of smug excitement. I jerk backwards in disgust. My stomach churns. He says something that used to be an inside joke between me and Anna. Something I confided in her about my first heartbreak as a teenager. Some silly phrase that only she and I shared. Hearing it from him is like a blade twisting in my gut. My knuckles go white on the remote, but I can't stop watching. It's grotesque, mesmerizing. The image of her half-naked, pressing against him. The laughter. The camera stumbles, and then a cut. I guess he shut it off right before going further. I stare at the static. There's a buzzing in my ears, and my eyes burn. So it wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment betrayal. It's old. It's deeper. It means all that time, she carried this secret with him. My wife, my brother, they had this silent, hidden history, and I never knew. I sink down onto the couch, wanting to tear my hair out, wanting to hurl that old Panasonic against the wall. But I do nothing except let out a low, choked sound, a tiny fraction of the rage trembling inside. Night arrives, swallowing the house in darkness. I don't turn on the lights. I sit there in gloom, the silent TV facing me like a judge. By the time the sun begins to glow at the edges of the curtains, I haven't slept. My mind replays every sign I might have overlooked. The fleeting glances, the awkwardness at family gatherings, the time she insisted my brother come over for dinner. It all shifts into a new, nauseating perspective. In the early morning, I'm still in the living room, slumped forward, eyes raw. That's when I see her phone on the coffee table. She must have left it in my car last night, or maybe she just forgot. She's always been forgetful with small objects. My heart pounds. Normally, I'd never invade her privacy, but after what I've discovered, all bets are off. I swipe the screen. There's a text conversation open. The words like nails hammered into my eyes. When are you going to tell him the truth? He's weaker than you think. He'll forgive anything. Attached is a recent photo. Anna, smiling softly. And next to her is that same face from the tape. The same face I saw behind the lens. My brother. I feel all the air drain from the room. The phone wobbles in my hand, and I realize tears are sliding hot down my cheeks. I'm not crying from sadness, though. It's humiliation. It's betrayal. It's the hateful clarity that everything I believed about us was a lie. I don't say a word to her that morning. I pack a small bag, slip into the car. I drive to the bank, withdraw most of our savings, money we'd saved for dream vacations, for our future family. Then I drive to the realtor's office, start the process of selling the house. This was ours, a place we said we'd grow old in. Let her keep the empty walls if she wants. I need the cash, and I need to vanish. She calls me, leaves voicemails in a panic, but I don't answer. By the time she manages to corner me at a motel outside the city, I'm numb. She begs to talk, tries to explain. She cries, tears streaking her face, mascara smudging. I watch her like a man behind glass, distant, with a coldness in my eyes I never thought I could direct at her. She sobs, tries to touch me. I flinch away. She confesses, haltingly, that it was a fling. It happened once, or maybe twice. Her words are a blur of "I was lonely. You were working all the time. It's in the past, I swear." I say nothing, just stare at her. Then she admits there might have been more than just a couple times, tries to gloss over it with, "But I loved you. I wanted our life to be real." She can't even keep her story straight. She's desperate. She's frightened of losing everything. But there's no more us. I say nothing, even though 100 screams coil inside my gut. She's gasping. "Please, you have to listen. I was young. He was. It was a mistake. Over now." She tries to cling to me, but I shrug her off. I can't look at her face without picturing her moaning under him on that video. That half laugh, half gasp. Everything tastes like bile. Finally, she leaves, sobbing into her hands. I imagine her driving home, maybe cursing me for not giving her the fight she expected. But my silence is heavier than any argument. Days turn into weeks. I finalize the sale of the house. She's hysterical, phoning me in tears, telling me I'm overreacting, that she's sorry, that we can fix it if we just talk. I don't respond. Then she threatens me, says she'll take me to court. I ignore it. Eventually, she stops showing up at my motel. I suspect she found some new shoulder to cry on. Fine. I vanish, heading to a rental in a different part of the state. It's not pretty, just a cramped, dingy place with a leaky sink. But it's solitude. No family, no friends who might have known us. She keeps calling, trying to make sense of it, trying to hold on to what's already been broken. I block her number. She writes me emails, letters. She says she's sorry for everything, that she's in therapy, that she still loves me. She begs me to say something, anything. But I don't. My brother tries contacting me a few times as well. I don't bother reading his messages. I picture them both probably meeting in secret again. Or maybe they hate each other by now. Who cares? They're dead to me. Months slide by. The money I have from the house is more than enough to survive for a while. I drift. At night, I'm haunted by that tape, that scene. I see her eyes closing in pleasure when he touches her, and I jolt awake drenched in sweat. Sometimes I punch the wall, just to feel my knuckles bleed, a savage reminder that I'm alive. My mind rages with the question, how could she do that with him of all people? But there's no answer that can soothe me. The emptiness is profound. And then, almost a year later, I hear from a mutual friend that Anna has moved on, found some new man, some fiancé she's parading around. My chest tightens at the news. Not because I still want her. I don't. But because it stings to hear how easily she replaced me. She's building a new life, a new fantasy. Maybe planning a wedding, picking out a dress. The swirl of anger and macabre amusement in me is unstoppable. I wonder if she's telling him the truth about her past. Probably not. I stalk them online for a moment, scrolling through pictures. There's Anna in a white lace outfit, all radiant, beaming like she's found redemption. Her fiancé looks decent enough. Soft-eyed, probably stable. I stare at those images, feeling a cold knot in my stomach. She's forging a new happy ending for herself, while I'm left with the scraps. And just like that, I decide. She won't walk away unscathed. She's not going to erase me from her story. She doesn't get to bury her sins and pretend she's innocent. Some betrayals demand a lifetime of consequence. My chance comes right before their wedding date. She left me a new phone message, some bizarre attempt to reach out. I ignore it, but I get hold of his number. I wonder if he has a clue about Anna's past, Her fling with not just any man, but her husband's brother. Does he know the depths of that twisted betrayal? I dial. My heart thumps, but I'm grimly satisfied. He picks up, sounding chipper, unsuspecting. Hello. I wake for a beat. Then, coolly, I speak. I thought you might want to know who you're planning to marry. I say. She slept with 2 brothers. Did she tell you that part? Silence. A sharp intake of breath on his end. Who the hell is this? He demands, voice trembling between anger and confusion. Her husband, I answer. Soon-to-be ex-husband, if she ever gets around to finalizing. I just wanted you to see something. Check your mail. You'll find a VHS copy, old school, but you can convert it easily. Once you watch it, do what you like. Marry her. Run. I don't care. He tries to sputter something. Threats or denials. But I hang up. I've already shipped him the tape, the same vile recording that shattered me. I made a fresh copy with that old Panasonic. Labeled it with her name. Let him face the same heartbreak I did. I imagine him watching it in stunned horror, seeing her youthful giggles, the unmistakable closeness with another man who looks so damn much like him. Except that it's my brother, and it's all real. Will he recoil in disgust, like I did? Will he still walk down the aisle? He doesn't. I hear, through the same friend who gave me updates on Anna, that the fiancé vanished overnight. He disappeared after confronting her, left the ring behind. She's devastated, apparently. She tries to call me, tries to corner me at my new place, but I don't answer. I'm not there for her tears. I'm done being her punching bag, her fallback plan. She's alone now, right before what should have been her big day. The image of her standing in a wedding dress with no groom almost makes me laugh. But it's not a joyful laugh. It's a bitter, hollow noise. I learned that coldness is still an emotion, maybe the only one I can wield against her. She knows I did it. Of course she does. Nobody else had the tape. And that's the real message, that I'm here, in the shadows, pulling strings. I'm not gone. I'm not naive. I won't let her rewrite my story as some tragic, clueless fool. She'll remember me every time she tries to love someone new. And me. I won't lie. I felt moments of savage satisfaction. But it's a lonely kind of victory. Sitting in my small apartment, I sometimes stare at the peeling paint and wonder how I ended up so empty. The anger still simmers, and the betrayal still stings. But mostly, I just feel tired. She calls me a monster now, says I ruined her life. In truth, I'm not trying to be cruel for the sake of cruelty. I just want her to understand. Some wrongs never really go away. I think of my brother sometimes. I don't even know where he is anymore. Last I heard, he quit his job, maybe out of shame or friction with the family. Our parents don't speak to either of us much. I imagine they can't handle the weight of it all. 2 sons at war, with the woman who once was a daughter-in-law tangled in the middle. Maybe he's living in some other city, alone, or maybe he found someone else to seduce. I don't care. He and Anna took everything from me, so I took everything from them. Fair's fair. Anna tries one last time to see me face to face. I'm walking out of a grocery store when I spot her leaning against my car, arms folded, eyes puffy from crying or lack of sleep. She looks different, worn down. She's lost weight, or maybe just the spark that once made her glow. The sight flickers something in me, but not pity. More like recognition that once upon a time, I cared about her happiness. She moves toward me. "We need to talk," she says, voice trembling but determined. I could ignore her, but part of me wants to see what she could possibly say now. I glance around the parking lot. It's mostly empty. I step closer, holding the bag of groceries. "Speak." She swallows, trying to gather courage. "I know you sent that tape. Good for you," I say. The dryness in my tone could scrape glass. She flinches. "You ruined my relationship. You humiliated me." My laugh is mirthless. "And you ruined my marriage. Humiliated me for who knows how long. Did you think you'd walk away clean? She presses her lips together, tears glistening. I made mistakes. I was wrong. But you didn't have to do it like this. Her voice cracks. You could have just walked away. Let me. Let you what? I snap, stepping forward. Marry some fool who doesn't know he's stepping into quicksand. Let you bury your secrets under a pretty white dress. No, Anna. You don't get that easy escape. She's trembling. I can see in her eyes there's still a shred of love or regret. Or maybe it's just desperation. We could have fixed it. You and I. I bark a short, harsh laugh. Fixed it. You betrayed me with my own brother. I saw you, not just last year, but on that tape from a decade ago. How do you fix that? She tries to speak, but her voice falters. Tears spill down her cheeks. I'm sorry, she whispers. I'm so sorry. I stare at her for a heartbeat. My anger coils again, sizzling inside me, but it's overshadowed by an immense fatigue. I thought revenge would set me free. Now I see it's just replaced my heartbreak with emptiness. Still, I don't regret sending the tape. She has to live with it. We stand there in the parking lot for several seconds, her shoulders shaking. She looks like she might collapse. She takes a step forward, as if to touch my arm. I back away. Don't. I warn. There's nothing left for us. She nods slowly, tears coursing down her face. I wanted to believe you could forgive me, she says, that we had too much history to throw away. But you're different now. I exhale. You said yourself, I'm weaker than you think, that I'll forgive anything. Right? That's what you told him. Well, guess what, Anna? I'm not that weak. Her eyes fill with a flicker of recognition. She knows exactly which text I'm quoting. She swallows and steps back. So this is goodbye, she whispers. Should have been a long time ago. I reply. Then I walk past her, unlock my car, and drive away. She stands there, a lonely figure in the rearview mirror. I feel a pang, but I push it down. The further I go, the lighter I feel. Maybe it's just the numbness that's become my new normal. Maybe it's relief. That night, I lie on my bed in the cramped apartment, eyes closed. Her words echo in my mind. I wanted to believe you could forgive me. I still hear that younger version of her laughter on the VHS. I hear my brother's voice, see their hands on each other's skin. I wonder if, in some twisted dimension, I could have forgiven her, if she'd been honest sooner, if she'd shown real remorse before I discovered the horrifying extent of it. But that's not our reality. I gave her years. She gave me betrayal. I recall the day she told me, "You're my only one." She must have lied to me even then. And in the chaos, I remember what she used to say, or maybe what I told myself to keep going. Tivzio ravno menia prostish. A hollow ache expands in my chest. That phrase is like a cruel prophecy turned on its head. Time inches forward. I drift from one day to the next, patching up the cracks in my psyche as best I can. I go to work at a small electronics repair shop. I keep my interactions minimal. I drink my coffee black, stare at the peeling yellow wallpaper in my kitchen. I see a ghost of Anna in every accidental memory. But I built a fortress around my heart. Anger and sorrow swirl beneath, but I keep them sealed. Every now and then, I let my mind wander. Is she seeing someone else again? Is she alone? Does she still wear that ring I gave her? Ridiculous questions. I tried to chase them away by focusing on practical tasks. Fixing circuit boards, calibrating devices, rummaging through used electronics. One evening, I stumble upon an old portable DVD player in the shop's back room. It reminds me painfully of the VHS tape. My jaw clenches. I toss it aside, refusing to let the memory drag me down again. I get a letter in the mail. The divorce is final. I flip through the pages. She didn't contest. Maybe she's finally accepted that there's no turning back. The usual bland legal language fills the lines, dividing our property, clarifying debts. That's it, the official end of our marriage. I stare at my signature on the last page, black ink barely dry. then slip the papers into a drawer. A raw hollowness pulses in my chest. So that's that. I wonder if she's thinking of me tonight. If she's lying in an empty bed, remembering the hush of our evenings together, or all the times I brought her tea when she was sick. Maybe she's cursing me for making sure her fiancé left. I try not to dwell on it. Let her regret. Let her rage. I close my eyes and breathe in the silence of my single apartment. Sometimes, a twisted guilt gnaws at me. Did I go too far? Was there another way? But I remind myself of the basement, the dust, the hush, the flashlight in my trembling hand, the sight of them locked in that intimate kiss, of the text messages, of the VHS tape, of the secret she held for years. I remember the agony, the humiliation, the nights I lay awake wondering what was real. That's enough to stifle any remorse. Weeks pass, then months. My routine becomes an anesthetic. Mornings at the shop, lunch at a nearby diner, evenings with a worn paperback or static-filled radio. I rarely speak to my family now. My parents tried to reach out, but the conversation always felt strained, loaded with an unspoken question. Why did you let this tear us all apart? I can't even articulate an answer. My brother never surfaces. Good. One gray afternoon, I'm flipping the sign on the shop door to closed, ready to lock up, when a middle-aged man steps inside. He looks familiar, but I can't place him at first. He's carrying a small package under his arm. "You John Baker?" he asks, his expression uncertain. I nod, confused. He sets the package on the counter. "I was told to drop this off." My pulse leaps. "By who?" He shrugs. "Lady outside gave me $50. Asked me to hand this to you. She said you'd understand." I rush to the window, peering out into the street. All I catch is a glimpse of a car pulling away. White sedan, tinted windows. It could be Anna. Or maybe not. Could be some random messenger. My stomach twists with apprehension. I cut open the parcel. Inside is the old VHS tape. Our tape, along with the battered Panasonic camera. My hands shake. There's a slip of paper. "I don't want it anymore. It's yours. Do whatever you want with it." My chest constricts. She sent it back, as if trying to purge her guilt by returning the evidence of her sins. Or maybe it's a token of closure. I stare at the camera, remembering how it felt to watch that video for the first time. The anger rushes through me again, but it's not as sharp. It's dull, more like a bruise that never fully healed. I stand there for a moment, the neon closed sign humming behind me. A wave of exhaustion hits. I carry the package to the back of the shop, set it down near the trash bin. For a crazy second, I consider smashing it with a hammer or burning it. But in the end, I just place it carefully on a shelf. I don't know why. Maybe I'm not ready to destroy it. Maybe some part of me needs the reminder that I can never be that knave again. I lock up the shop and step outside into the drizzling rain. The sky is an endless gray, the air cold against my skin. I think about Anna in that car. If it was her, is she still hoping for some reaction? Some sign that I care? Or did she simply want to rid herself of the final proof? I light a cigarette, a habit I picked up recently. The smoke stings my throat. I remember when I used to hate cigarettes. Anna always teased me for being so squeamish about it. Funny how things change. I take a few drags, letting the bitter taste fill my lungs. Then I walk to my old beat-up car and drive home. The radio crackles with static, so I flick it off. Darkness settles early. My headlights carve tunnels through the murk. I barely notice the passing landmarks. I pull into the parking lot of my building, kill the engine, and sit there. Rain spatters the windshield, blurring the world outside. I wonder if I'll ever shake off this resentment. Maybe that's what I pay for wanting revenge so badly. An endless loop of bitterness. But I don't regret unveiling her lies. She had it coming. She has to live with it. At the same time, I can't deny the emptiness that's gnawing at me from the inside. For a long time, I believed that once I made her taste my pain, I'd be free. Maybe not. Maybe all I did was deepen my own wounds. Yet there's a grim satisfaction in knowing she'll never stroll into a new marriage without remembering what she did, and what I can do in return. I head into my apartment. The place is silent, aside from the drip of a faucet. I pop open a beer, slump onto my ratty couch. My chest feels tight. My thoughts circle back to that day I first discovered them in the basement. The panic, the sickening betrayal, the desperation. I think about how I walked away without a word, how I sold our home, drained our account, left her crying on the doorstep. Some people might say I overreacted, but none of them felt the vise around their heart like I did. I close my eyes, massaging my temples. Tivzio ravno mania prostish, I murmur under my breath. The irony of those words is almost laughable. She was so sure I'd forgive her, as if my love was some unbreakable constant. Maybe I used to believe that too. Now we're both proven wrong. Time crawls. The weeks blend. I find the divorce settlement's final arrangement in my mailbox, a note from her lawyer, basically confirming everything is done. One day I check social media, half expecting to see her engaged to someone else. Instead, her profile is eerily dormant. No ring, no smiling selfies. Maybe she's taking a break from illusions. I feel a twitch of something. Pity, maybe. But it's quickly swallowed by indifference. I'm not the man I was before. My illusions are shattered. My heart is cold steel now. Maybe one day I'll find someone else. But trust, that's a distant dream. For now, I keep to myself, fix other people's gadgets, live my small life. It's quiet. Sometimes too quiet. One evening, the phone rings. It's not a number I recognize. I hesitantly pick up. A thin voice on the other end. Is this John Baker? I confirm. I'm calling from the hospital. We have a patient here, Anna Baker, who listed you as an emergency contact. My heart stops. The voice continues. We'd appreciate if you could come in, or if you have updated information on her family. She's stable, but... I hang up, an electric current of shock running through me. My mind churns with contradictory impulses. Why would she list me as an emergency contact? I'm not her husband anymore. My first instinct is to ignore it. But some vestige of old caring stirs in my chest. It's late, but I grab my keys. 10 minutes later, I'm driving in the darkness to the address the nurse gave me. At the hospital, the smell of disinfectant hits me. I speak to a weary-looking nurse who leads me down a corridor. My stomach tightens. Why am I here? She cheated. She lied. I left. I shouldn't care. Yet here I am, bracing to see her again. We reach a small curtained area. The nurse draws it aside. Anna lies on a bed, an IV in her arm, eyes half closed. She looks fragile, pale. I approach slowly. Her gaze flickers up, recognition dawning. She opens her mouth, but no sound comes out. The nurse leaves us alone. Suddenly, I feel naked, exposed, confronted by a wave of memories. What happened? My voice is hoarse. She tries to speak. Finally, she manages. Car accident. A quiet rasp. She swallows, wincing. Wasn't paying attention. The road was wet. Her eyes flit to the bandages on her side. They said it could have been worse. I stand there, feeling a swirl of pity and anger. Why list me as your contact? I ask bluntly. She looks away. Didn't update my paperwork. I guess part of me hoped you'd come. I want to lash out. Hope, after everything. But the anger fizzles, replaced by a somber emptiness. I'm here, I say, voice stiff. What do you need? Her eyes fill with tears. I don't need anything. Just to see you, to say I'm sorry. For all of it. It's been haunting me. The old burn in my chest returns, but duller. It should haunt you, I murmur. It haunts me. She nods, tears streaking her cheeks. I deserved everything you did. I know you must hate me. Hate. The word echoes. Do I hate her? Maybe I did. Maybe I do. But seeing her so vulnerable dulls the blade. Still, I can't conjure softness. That's in the past, I say. It's done. She closes her eyes. Please, her voice is weak. If you can find it in your heart to, not hate me, just, I lift a hand. Stop. My tone is quiet. I can't go back. I can't be that man again. She nods, trembling. I understand. A tear slips down her temple. I want you to be happy. That's all. For a moment, I just stand there, arms at my sides, feeling the complicated weight of our shared history. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the vengeance. Now she's here, broken and remorseful. Maybe it's some cosmic irony. I exhale slowly. I hope you get better, I manage. If you need anything else, you can let the hospital staff call me. But that's all I can promise. She clings to my words like a lifeline. Thank you, she whispers, voice cracking. The nurse returns, fussing with the IV. I leave without ceremony, my footsteps echoing down the corridor. My stomach churns with memories. The parking lot is dark except for flickering fluorescent lights. Rain drizzles again. I open the car door, hesitate. My reflection in the window looks haunted, older. I start the engine and drive off. My mind replays our final exchange. She said she wants me to be happy. Maybe once, that would have touched me. Now, I only feel an odd emptiness. The entire fiasco with the fiancé, the tape, her meltdown. Perhaps it was all inevitable. Maybe I was always fated to discover the truth. Maybe she was always doomed to live with what she did. Days go by. I don't hear from her again, and I don't call a hospital. Eventually, I assume she's out and on her own. My routine persists. Shop, electronics, lonely evenings. Little by little, the raw fury inside me recedes, replaced by a quiet, resigned acceptance. Some nights I dream of her face, the taste of her lips before I knew they belonged to someone else too. I wake up breathless, sweaty, cursing the day I ever believed in unwavering devotion. Yet I also notice the tension in my shoulders easing, bit by bit. My appetite for vengeance cools. I've done what I set out to do, shown her that betrayal has consequences. Now I need to figure out who I am beyond this anger. The sun rises and sets, each new day a small step further from the wreckage. One late afternoon, I close the shop and find myself driving east with no destination. The sky is streaked orange and pink. The road is open. I roll the windows down, letting the wind whip in. I pass a small lake, the water glinting in the dying sunlight. On a whim, I pull over, get out, and walk along the shore. The air is cool, crisp. I stare at the ripples on the water. I remember how I once took Anna fishing. She hated the mosquitoes, but loved the sunset. A flicker of sadness stirs, but it doesn't overwhelm me. I stand there until the sun dips below the horizon. The lake turning dark. I notice the quiet, how it feels strangely peaceful. Maybe the future is uncertain, but at least now, I'm not living in a lie. My life might be lonely, but it's honest. I start walking back to my car. A single star appears in the twilight. I murmur to myself, Tivzio ravno minia prostish. It's a half-joke now, an echo of the past that I know will never come true. Because she won't, and I don't need her to. She had her chance to be forgiven a long time ago. And me. I may never forgive her or my brother. But maybe I can forgive myself for being blind, for letting love twist me into a bitter man bent on revenge. I take a deep breath, let the cold night wind sting my face, and open the car door. I start the engine and drive away from the water, away from the memory of her, away from the old me who believed love conquers all. Darkness unfolds around me like a cloak, but for the first time in a long while, I sense a hint of freedom. She's out there somewhere, picking up the pieces of her ruined wedding, her relationships in tatters, the ghost of my revenge lingering. I'm here, out of her reach, but close enough that she'll feel my presence if she ever tries to dismiss what she did. Some pains last a lifetime, and some choices carve permanent scars. She'll carry her guilt, and I'll carry my emptiness, but I'll keep driving forward, 1 mile at a time, letting the wind blow through the open window, forcing me to breathe. Maybe that's all the closure we'll ever get. The simple knowledge that we've both paid our price. In the end, that's enough for me. I'm right here, somewhere she can't touch, but close enough to remind her. This is how it ends when you believe a man will always forgive. Sometimes he walks away. Sometimes he strikes back. And sometimes he does both, leaving you with nothing but the cold taste of regret.